What up, guys? James from Bolt Bros here with signings on signings on signings. Joe Ortiz is staying real busy right now. It's awesome to see what's happening with this team. Man, we haven't seen a GM be this aggressive at all in last 10 plus years, it seems like. So it's awesome to be able to see what's happening here. We got a new quarterback, we got a new cornerback, and we even got some other additions on top of that. So let's just go ahead and get into it, guys. Bolt Bros. Let's go.
Bolt Bros.
Once again, guys, appreciate all the love and support too. Please like this video, subscribe to this channel if you've not. We always appreciate the love and support, and we love seeing you guys on our lives this week, going over the 53-man squad and the practice squad. It's been awesome to see the response and the excitement for this team and for our Chargers. So once again, we got a new quarterback here. Joe Ortiz has been very, very busy all around. We ended up going to get Taylor Heinicke from the Atlanta Falcons. Now, obviously, he's not in a Falcons uniform here, but that was his years that he actually did quite a bit. I mean, Taylor to me is one of those guys that's been a heart type player. He's been a guy that's been able to really go out on the field and give you your best chance to win. He does a very, very good job of going out there and just making sure he puts us all on the line. Like, there's a lot of times, if you watch a lot of the highlights of him when he was starting at Washington, I mean, the guy was just an absolute monster on the field, in my opinion. He was a guy that you could kind of trust that he will go out there and do the extra effort type plays. And that's kind of what Jim Harbaugh really wants to see out of his players. Guys that have heart, guys that do extra effort and will put their body on the line. And I think that's one thing I'd love to see with Taylor, is that he's able to go out there and really do that. Beautiful thing about him too is that he's got a great pocket presence. He's very aware of his surroundings. He does a very good job of keeping his eyes downfield. Great player all around. If you watched even some of the highlights from him in Washington, there was a lot of deep balls that he was throwing out there, guys, and there were people eating for some of those deep balls. Their wide receivers were loving that, I'm sure. And so I'm excited to be able to have a guy who we can feel a little bit more confident in as a quarterback. Now, once again, Easton Stick is still on the team thus far. There hasn't been any announcements that we've let him go or anything like that. I don't know if we're really going to truly hold three quarterbacks on this team. Not sure where this is all positioned at this point. My thoughts is that they might roll with three for the moment on the 53-man squad. Taylor will be learning how to basically play the position, learn the offense, everything like that. And maybe over time that will shift away from Easton Stick and possibly just put him on the practice squad. So we'll only have two quarterbacks on this team. So we will see where this all pans out. But I did want to just emphasize a couple of the stats about Taylor Heinicke here too. You know, he's been in the league since 2017. You know, Old Dominion University player, by the way, quarterback. We have two of them now on our team. So I wanted to just throw it out and see who, if you know who the second quarterback is on our team from Old Dominion University. So, but he might have had a position switch. So I'll give you a little bit of a hint there. Interesting. But Taylor did play quite a bit at Washington. 15 games started there. He went for 7 for 8, 3,419 yards, 20 touchdowns to 15 picks. He definitely played pretty solid, in my opinion. 7-8, obviously not a winning record, but at the same side, he did fine. Next following year, he went 5-3-1 with 1,859 yards, 12 touchdowns to 6 picks. The guy understands how to be a quarterback. He goes, once again, with those extra effort type situation. He understands the pocket. He's got good speed to run the ball too. I think it's a very, very good pickup all around. He did also have a career record of 13-15-1. All around, I think he's really good. Now, one thing I like here is the 5 comebacks to 5 game-winning drives. You want a guy that knows how to be able to bring the game back, find a way to put your team in a position to win. I do feel very, very firmly that our defense is going to be able to win and close out games also for us too. So keep that in mind. You got a guy now as a quarterback that could potentially be that guy that could close games out. As an example, don't want to knock too much about Easton Stick or anything, but the last preseason game, he had 3 times to try to close that game out, and the defense had to get 3 turnovers to close that game out. You need an offensive guy, especially at the quarterback position, that could find a way to close games out. I think Taylor Heinicke could be that guy for us. So keep an eye out for him and let him develop in this offense. You guys will appreciate his style of play. So love to see it. So once again, I did want to emphasize too, 39 touchdowns, 28 picks. Great. Love it. Love it. So moving on. Got a new cornerback here too. Oh, one thing too. Taylor Heinicke, it was for a 6th round conditional pick too. So basically what that means is conditional picks mean it could be like, hey, playtime, activation, certain amount of games, yards thrown, whatever, all these little various metrics. So it's a conditional 6th round pick. So that means he needs to be able to be on the active squad or whatever they put in that conditional 6th or playtime of some sort. They will get a 6th round pick. Now, if it doesn't hit those metrics based upon the trade, it'll end up being a 7th round pick type situation. So we'll see where that all pans out. Either which way, it's a great deal for us too. So moving on, we have traded for Elijah Molden. Now, we talked about this yesterday in live when we were going over the practice squad. Cornerback from the Titans. Yes, we're pulling another guy from the Titans here. We got Taylor Heinicke. We got Christian Fulton on this team. You know what? You kind of think, hey, maybe we're starting to try to grab these guys from the team because we're getting information from players within the team that think, hey, Elijah Molden would be a good guy to go with. Taylor Heinicke was a guy that I pointed out that I wanted the Chargers to go after in the offseason. Elijah Molden's one of those guys, a very versatile guy. Once again, a 3rd round pick for the Titans. He has 4 years experience within the NFL. He's a guy that you could actually say he's a young guy at this point, last year of his rookie contract, 25-year-old guy. The guy actually is a pretty physical player all around too. Great thing about him too is that he's played a lot within the slot as a cornerback or a slot cornerback, but he's also played as safety too. He did have an injury too last year to kind of, it was a year ago that he ended up having a little bit of an issues getting back on field and everything, but he's a guy that's a young guy that you could take a risk on. And what we basically risked on this is a 7th round 2026 pick. That's crazy to me. So we basically put a pick out a couple years from now, basically for him to just take a flyer on him on a 7th round pick. A great pickup, in my opinion. Now, once again, this is where you look at where Ben Herbert basically gets involved with these players. He understands what's going on with them. Now, looking at Elijah Molden, his injuries were in 2022 where he had a groin issues, week 1 to 9 from 14 to 18th week. He just could not get healthy. Since then has been fine. That's something I think you could look past a little bit. Now, the 2022 season essentially was a wash for him, but this guy has the ability to be a very good, solid cornerback / safety for us. I think that's what they were trying to put in JT Woods quite a bit into this mold. You have the safety ability. Now go to cornerback. Did it work? And then they ended up moving on from him. They ended up going with a guy that they felt like fits well for their needs. And Elijah Molden could be that guy for us. Also, his dad did play for the Chargers too. So interesting fact there too. So excited to be able to have Elijah Molden. I think he's going to be a great addition for us too. Just to kind of go over a little bit of his stats here too. Interesting thing about him, he's been able to get, touchdowns after picks. That was kind of a short field type situation, goal line. Pick 6, gotta love that. Fumble recoveries, he's active, tackles for a loss, quarterback hits. He's out there hitting people. Awesome. Even 2023, he had 73 combined tackles, 47 solo, 26 assists, 1 tackle for a loss. Also 1 forced fumble. Also did have a pick 6 too, 44 yards to the house, baby. So I think he's one of those guys that you're just going to add a little bit of nastiness to this team. Now, once again, Jesse Minter wants flexibility in this defense, and he fits that mold very well for us. And he's also a young guy too. We got a lot of guys on this team that are a lot of one-year type guys, and we're trying to find out that right blend of where we want to be able to put money. Christian Fulton's been showing out in camp. It's been great to see. You know what? Maybe we're going to see Elijah Molden be able to be a guy that could show out for us too. We're giving these guys and competitors to be able to come to this team to get a shot to be able to stick onto this team and possibly get a big fat contract. So I'm excited to be able to see where we're going to go with Elijah. excited to have him on this team. So once again, kind of shifting a little bit more towards the Titans and picking up Titans players now. I don't know what's going on here, but we did kind of move towards a couple other Ravens down the road too. So here's another guy, Sam Mustipher is his name. He's a center that has been on the Ravens and is now on the Chargers practice squad. So we talked a little bit about him yesterday for practice squad. It wasn't official or anything at that point in time, but they have now signed him to our practice squad. So he was under the Bears for 2020 and 2021 and 2022, I should say, too. A lot of starts there, too. A lot of different games that he's played, 42 total games. He also played 2 starts for the Ravens in 2023 and was on the Broncos this season and did not make the cut for them. So adding more bodies to this team, we did talk a lot about, hey, we do need another center in this team. Add some more depth. And a guy that, once again, was on the Ravens, they love digging back into that. So Ravens are one of those teams that we tend to go with because obviously we got a lot of guys that are from the Ravens, Greg Roman to Joe Ortiz. They start looking at those same players that they've seen and they try to bring them in again because they're familiar and understanding with them. Big thing too, he's been in the NFL for 5 years. So having a guy like that on practice squad, experience on the practice squad is great. 6'2", 332-pound guy from Notre Dame. So gotta love to see it, guys. More experience added to this team. Now digging into more players that were on the Ravens, Eric Tomlinson. We got a Tomlinson back, boys. He is back. Bring out the Tomlinson jerseys, everybody. He is on the practice squad. So we have added more players to the practice squad. Now, Eric Tomlinson's been in the league for some time too. I've seen him quite a bit. First thoughts was in the Jets when he was there. Not necessarily the biggest pass catcher. He's only got 41 catches, 280 yards in his total career with 3 touchdowns. So once again, he's kind of one of those guys that a lot of people talk about, just a heavy blocker kind of guy, a guy that could play well for you on special teams. Once again, just adding more experience to the practice squad's a very, very good thing. I think it's a very good move for the Chargers to add a player like this, and they are familiar. Once again, we have become the Los Angeles Titans of Baltimore Ravens. I don't know. We've just became a crazy long name team at this point. We've added so many different players from 2 specific teams now. So interesting to see, but welcome Eric Tomlinson to the Chargers and to the practice squad. Now, with that same move, there has been so much additions and subtractions here. We have released Tony Jefferson. So my thoughts is what's happening here. That ref is over there saying, like, get out of here. You're out of here, buddy. But anyways, he's probably going to get put on the practice squad too. So there's going to be more shifting on the practice squad. So somewhere or another, we're going to get him back on this team with adding players like Taylor Heinicke. You basically start adding and have to subtract a player, putting him on the 53-man squad, so on and so forth. Tony Jefferson's going to find his way back on this team. He was with the team last night for Topgolf. I assume that he's basically going to find his way to stay here once again. Obviously, he's a Southern California guy. He'd probably like to stick around and stay close to where he's at. So I assume he's going to find his way back. There's no official note on that or anything yet, but Tony Jefferson did get let go, and so we will expect him to be back on this team somewhere or another. So there will be more shifting all around. So obviously the Tony Jefferson release has happened. We did waive Jarrett Patterson, which basically puts the 53-man squad there. We also signed, obviously, Sam Mustipher and Eric Tomlinson back to the practice squad. And then we also released Robert Kennedy from the practice squad. So my assumption is that Tony Jefferson's going to find his way back on the practice squad, and we'll make our adjustments from there. So long-winded releases and signings here, guys. We've done a lot of adjustments with this team. Chargers are doing a lot of moves right now. Joe Ortiz, once again, you got to love the guy. He's making moves. He's trying to make this team better all around on week 0 of the NFL season. It's been a long time since we've seen a GM do something like this, right, guys? So very exciting to be able to see, guys. But I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about these signings too? Once again, Tyler Huntley is still available out there, by the way, guys. He just got released from the Browns. Do we go after another quarterback? I don't know. You think about it. You bring in Tyler Huntley, and then you just go ahead and say, hey, look, see Easton Stick. We got a guy that already knows the offense and knows how to run it. So who knows? We will see. To be determined here, guys. So once again, want to hear from you guys about the signings, thoughts, good signings, bad signings, whatever it might be. Once again, appreciate to be able to hear from you. Throw it in the comments below. I think our staff, 53-man squad, is pretty much set, but who knows where we're going to go. Practice squad is relatively full right now. We'll see if it actually stays that point and if there's going to be some additions or subtractions. So once again, guys, appreciate all the love and support. Once again, James from Bolt Bros. Let's go.
Hey, what's up? Cameron Dick here watching Bolt Bros podcast. Let's go.
Charged up, Bolt Bros on the night.